Just one of those days, man. Like, I really have no fucking clue who I am. You know, people come to me, my channel, to see some kind of new aspect of reality that, these secret societies are suppressing from the masses. But lately, I just don't give a fuck. I'm not really in the mood anymore to just pour forth my Aquarius knowledge on undeserving, swine. All my pearls before swine. It's really getting to the point where I'm interested, but at this point, there's nothing else that can convince me otherwise. So, it's like trying to prove every day that the sun is real, because the whole world thinks the sun isn't real. Oh, but the sun is real. Let me prove it here. Let me prove it there. Let me prove it there. Let me prove it there. Like, at a certain point, the sun's fucking real and I don't have to prove it to anyone, let alone some fucking bored YouTube clickers. I'm not really seeing any growth anymore. It's basically just, I'm confirming this, confirming that. Nothing's changed for me, basically. So that's probably why I'm getting into this really heavy music phase, specifically black metal, of course. And it's the only music that's getting out my chaos, basically. You have to have chaos if you want to give birth to a dancing star, That's a Nietzsche quote. Excuse me. Thus spake Zarathustra. And it's just like, I don't know if I'm a Christian, astrologer, a New Ager. I just have no... Society will not allow you to be any of those things, so that's probably why I'm so torn, is just because I'm on all sides of the spectrum, and I just want to get to the core of the problem, whereas most people think everything is categorized and separated, whereas I just think, I think universally, I think everything is one, so there's a little bit of truth here, a little bit of truth there. But at what point can I say, okay, well, the Bible is more true than the Quran? Or, the Hindu Bible is less true than, the Apocrypha. Life is about finding out why we're here, not just how to make money. So if we want to find out why we're here, we need to try a little harder. And I seem like all of my efforts aren't really going anywhere anymore. I started this channel like 10, 11 years ago, and I've changed so much, I've learned so much, and I just don't feel like I'm that guy anymore. Like, I don't feel like I'm someone you go to for something new. I'm the guy who's going to tell you what's happening right now, not what we can do to change it. Because my beliefs stem from apparently the Bible and not your mom and dad's fucking Bible. I don't believe in baptism, Christmas, anything Catholic, basically, because that's all pagan sun worship. I believe that if pi is hidden in Genesis 1:1, if the Fibonacci sequence is hidden throughout, just type my username, Gadawist, and then Gematria, and you'll get about 60 videos of me explaining the hard numbers behind Scripture. So whenever you try and ever justify the Bible, people say, oh, well, you don't believe in dinosaurs and you believe Noah's Ark was literal and all that stuff. No, that's what you're taught to think, okay? My spiritual beliefs stem well beyond anything you basically ever fucking heard of. And the reason being is I incorporate reincarnation into my view of existence. I incorporate planetary alignments into our consciousness and historical events. I incorporate telepathy and ESP because it's been proven to be real. And just because the Bible doesn't talk about it doesn't mean it's anti-Christian. The Bible doesn't mention iPads either, but I'm filming this fucking video on an iPhone So I guess the Bible's wrong because iPhones exist and the Bible didn't mention it. No. Okay, there's a lot of hidden things in symbolism. Okay, and if you can't zoom out for 2 seconds in your life and see the bigger picture, it's really it's my job as a shaman to not hold back anything because someone else can't keep up. If you can't keep up, you can step out of the circle. If you can't fathom that Christianity and astrology commingle constantly, I can name every book. Witness to the Stars, Gospel of the Stars, God's Voice in the Stars. Those are all books that prove that the zodiacal story is actually extremely biblical. Okay? So, I mean, and then people say, well, why are you Christian and you listen to black metal? I listen to unblack metal too. It's still screeching loud guitars and vocalists, but it's not about Satan. But that doesn't mean the best black metal bands aren't not satanic sometimes. I love Mayhem. I love Lamp. I love Immortal. I love Burzum. Despite any beliefs, we're talking about music here, I like that stuff a lot. My favorite band right now is Drowning the Light. Asgore is a fucking musical genius. The melodies are haunting my head, my brain. And that's what music's supposed to do. It's like, whoa, I didn't know reality had that. Now I can't imagine it without it. So right now, Drowning the Light's my favorite band. And of course, this movie Lords of Chaos is coming out. Everyone, it's basically about mayhem. The best black metal band ever. It's about the suicide of the vocalist and the murder of the guitarist, and how Burzum got jailed for it, and Dark Throne and Faust and Emperor and all that stuff. I'm jizzing my pants. I can't wait for this fucking movie. The Sundance release was in January, so everyone else is just kind of waiting for their turn, you know. And of course, the bands that it's about hate it, even though they haven't seen it. They don't support it, and they think they shouldn't make black metal mainstream. Well, guess what, Varg? Burzum? You're the one who annoyed Euronymous by trying to make black metal extreme and getting in newspapers and doing interviews. And now when there's an actual movie about your life, now you don't want it mainstream anymore. Now it's all posers. I don't care if the guy who's playing you's last name is Cohen and you're anti-Jewish. It's a movie. It's Hollywood. It's going to introduce people who are sick of mainstream music to your music. So boo fucking who, okay? Even if it sucks and you're against it, doesn't mean it's not awesome to me. David Bowie didn't like Velvet Goldmine. I love Velvet Goldmine. It's fucking sweet. What is weird, though, is that Sigur Rós is doing the soundtrack. And Sigur Rós is basically the most peaceful, harmonic fucking band you could ever imagine with black metal. The most hardcore, intense, scary type of musical genre ever known to the fucking history of mankind. So we'll see how that goes. It's been getting pretty good reviews by the critics. And a couple fans. So I'm very excited to see how that goes. But anyway, if I'm all into this countercultural black metal shit, it does not mean I can't still not expose truth and Illuminati and Satanism in music videos. In fact, it means I know more about the devil, Satan, Lucifer, blah blah blah, than black metal people. I've already made videos about how Satanists are not Satanists, because they believe the Bible. If you're a Satanist just for the ego thing and willpower and Anton LaVey and whatever, you don't believe in devils, that's fine. Good for you. You're a Nietzschean. You're not a Satanist. But if you're into Satanism and you believe in the devil and the horns and hell and, you know, torture and all that kind of shit, that means the Satan you believe in comes from the Bible that I read. And in the Bible I read, Satan fucking loses. So it's not about being cool. It's about being true. And if you want to be true, a true Satanist, then you'll admit, okay, well, in the Bible, Satan loses. Okay, well, the Christians wrote that. Well, then don't believe in Satan. Okay, so it's kind of just this huge universal fucking battle basically going on in my mind and in the fucking world and the spiritual universe. But basically, I wanted to make this video to show how confused I am. To show how unrelentingly fucking frustrating it is to have years, hours, days of evidence, and people still come at you with some kind of ignorant attitude like, well, what do you know? Well, seeing how this is the first fucking video you've watched out of 10 years of videos, I know a lot. So fuck off and catch up. And then maybe we can be in the same page, the same ballpark, the same fucking city. Okay? Because I don't really give a fuck what you think. I know what I know, and I know what I like. Okay? Just because I'm Christian doesn't mean I'm going to sit at home all day with my ears shut and my eyes fucking closed like you're taught to. You're basically taught to do that in these churches, which is why I don't go to church. I do not go to church. I watch YouTube videos of people who inspire me towards truth. Jim Brown's Grace and Truth Ministries. The Groxt. Jonathan Kleck. The Vigilant Christian. You know, that's church to me. Not watching some pagan motherfucker tell me what to do and why I'm a sinner and why he's perfect. But anyway, people be like, well, you like guns, but Jesus said turn the other cheek. Yeah. Well, did Jesus say watch your wife and dogs die in front of you even though you have the means to defend them? No, he didn't really say that, did he? No, he said, I come bearing a sword. That's what Jesus fucking said. But anyway, I know God's in charge, and I know I can't do anything to change the world, but I do want to kind of influence it some way. No one's going to change the world, but I want to influence the people who are supposed to be influenced. Okay, and what that comes down to is if you really want to be against the system, then why are you doing what the TV says? If you really want to be a socialist, then why don't you move to fucking Russia? If you want freedom of speech, freedom of defense, and freedom of fucking due process, then hey, stick around. But if you don't like freedom of speech, if you want to vote away people's rights, and if you want to fucking, live in a system that has proven to have failed constantly, socialism, it's basically killed 100 million people throughout history. So have at it, go move, because America's not going to change, America is pagan, but as far as politically, America religiously is shit. Don't trust anyone when it comes to God. But politically, America is the best fucking country ever invented. Okay, and so that's why we have this thing called like checks and balances, where most people don't have that. So I'm not pro-Trump, I'm not pro-Hillary, I'm not Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. I'm a fucking human being on this earth who believes in God and who knows God's in charge. But in the meantime, I do want to keep my gun rights. But then again, I don't vote. I just knew what was going to happen was going to happen. And the fact that Obama and Trump's faces are in the Egyptian hieroglyphs like the Grok shows means, what the fuck was I going to do about that? What the fuck was my vote going to do about God's plan? Okay? So, it's God's plan for me to be frustrated. It's God's plan for me to fucking have a midlife crisis mental breakdown when, being obsessed with like dark, scary music, because I realize how dark and scary and evil the world is. I'm not going to listen to fucking Britney Spears because I'm depressed. I'm going to listen to Drowning the fucking Light because I'm depressed. Okay? It's about freedom of artistic expression. Okay? For some reason, guitars and drums get me off more than some, little girl singing about how she wants to fall in love and have sex at, the age of 16. But anyway, that's her choice. If we could all just, agree to disagree after we've studied what we have to study, then I would give a shit. People will disagree because they don't want to believe truth. They want lies. They want fucking pleasure over knowledge. That's the problem between the far left and the far right. The far left believes that you can relinquish evil, and that if we take away the tools of evil, evil will cease. And that's about as childish as you can get. Whereas the right wing thinks evil exists, so we need to defend ourselves because we know we can't stop it. So we need to keep arming ourselves, the good guys, because evil can't stop. But the left thinks that, you can stop it, which is just hilarious to me. And yet at the same time, right-wing people are mostly Christian, but they think they can fucking change things, but God's in charge, like that. It's a whole big, brilliant, fucking. It's It's a brilliant machine that the Illuminati and these secret societies have created over the ages. And by the way, I've been getting into, but studying Aleister Crowley. I always thought it was Crowley, but the Brits say Crowley. And that motherfucker was crazy. He was genuinely evil. Aleister Crowley was basically the G.G. Allen of the 1920s, okay? Except much more book smart, okay? He just did pure evil, sacrifices, summoned demons, did sex magic, ate shit, you know, claimed to kill people and do blood sacrifices and had multiple orgies, was into BDSM. You know, but he believed he ushered in the age of Aquarius and that he's the prophet of the new fucking era of mankind, of Thelema. I don't believe all of that, but I believe he was a very important figure. I think Aleister Crowley is a necessary step in the evolution of personality types. And when you look at that guy's horoscope, I mean, Mars in Capricorn explains all of his overkill and his over-ambition and his attainment syndrome. His Jupiter in Scorpio, Jupiter's expansion, Scorpio sexuality. He created sex magic, very influential. And he's a Libra, so he's really fucking book smart. And his moon's in Pisces, so he's into the esoteric and the mystical and the spiritual. So astrology really helps you grasp not only where these people are coming from, but how the fuck they actually function every single day. I have a heavy Pisces placement. I'm heavily into spirituality. I'm an Aquarius, so I like to gather a bunch of facts about the Pisces spirituality. So it's all a big conglomeration of different archetypes, which you are allowed to study as a Christian, because if you're a real Christian, you will study something to prove it wrong. You won't look away and blind yourself because you think it's wrong. You're going to study it and understand why it's wrong. But that's just too fucking hard for some people. But I guess it's easier for me because I actually grew up Jewish. So it wasn't like a big thing for me to have my parents' version of Jesus and my preacher's version of Jesus. No, I found it on my own in 2012 with the Grox channel showing Illuminati symbolism everywhere. It's like, okay, the Bible's the only one that explains all this shit. No other mystical book explains it except the fucking Bible. So I guess there might be something to the Bible. Come fucking 5 years later, I'm still reading the fucking Bible and learning stuff and confirming my New Age beliefs biblically, which is, you know, a contradiction to all these motherfuckers. But when you look at the chakras, you add them all up, it's 144, except the crown chakra. The crown chakra is 1,000. But add up all the other chakras, it's 144. So multiply 144 times the 1,000. That's 144,000. Oh, there's 144,000 elect souls that are saved in the end times in the Bible. It's not a literal number. It's a figurative spiritual number. Oh, and there's 144,000 days in one Mayan Baktun, 13 of which ended at 2012. Okay, so you got multiple different cultures using the same type of system, but in different ways. Okay? And when you have open-minded people like me introduce you to it, you'll have the naysayers say, well, you're a hypocrite because you're looking into two things at once. Yeah, I'm looking at fucking good, bad, evil, beyond good and evil. I'm looking at truth. There's no such thing as good and evil. It's truth and it's untruth to me. It's true that it's wrong to kill someone out of cold blood, for sure. But it's not wrong to take out someone who's trying to kill you, is it? I mean, if your kid is right there and a murderer is on the left side, would you not want to, you know, to protect your kid and do whatever you had to do to protect your child? Or are you going to say, no, I'm against violence. Sure, you can kill my kid. I'll just watch. I mean, you got to ask yourself this shit, because this is not a joke. It's not a game. What if something like that were to happen? Where would you really stand? You want to stand with peace and love and all that bullshit. But when you realize the world is not full of peace and love, be the change you want to see in the world. I will be the change I want to see in the world. I want to fucking take out criminals if they're trying to take me out. Forgive me. I'm a jaguar. I'm a warrior shaman in Mayan astrology. Okay, I'm Mars and Aries. I'm a fucking warrior in Western astrology. Okay, I'm a fire rabbit in Chinese astrology. So I'm sensitive but still have some fucking balls, basically. So for you to like make everyone have to be a victim just because you're a pussy doesn't really add up to me, okay? If you want only the police to have guns, that means you're very pro-gun. Just only the government can have it. But I thought the government was evil and you shouldn't trust them. Oh, but citizens shouldn't have them either. So who should we trust, the people or the government? Oh, but there's crazy people. Yeah, I know. That's why you should defend yourself from people and government. What a concept. And if you have a good background, you pass that background check, you can do it. And if you have a violent background, you can't get that fucking gun legally. So the people who buy the guns illegally, they have a one-up on the people who obey the law and buy them legally, okay? Because they can buy whatever the fuck they want. We have certain rules because, you know, shall not be infringed, even though you can't have nukes, AK, full autos, you know, grenades, tanks. Oh, but shall not be infringed. But anyway, I want to get into gun control. Y'all know my shit. Anyway, one more thing. Speaking of black metal, today is the 25th anniversary of A Blaze in the Sky by Dark Throne, one of the defining albums in black metal. And yeah, I definitely recommend that y'all open up your minds a little bit. This is Mayhem, live in Leipzig. That's with Dead on the cover. This is the movie, this is the band that movie's about, Lords of Chaos. Can't wait to see it. I don't care if y'all think I'm a poser for seeing it. You're a poser for judging something before you've actually watched it. Gee, just like every fucking atheist who tries to talk Bible with me. But anyway, that's just my perspective. And I really think I have something going for me on a spiritual level, but not on like a level to where that people will actually give a fuck. This is basically just my diary, okay? I don't keep a little notebook diary anymore. I really should, because y'all aren't worth shit. And, you know, what if they just, you know, cancel my YouTube channel one day and I'll be fucked? So I basically just gotta have to, like, record all my videos and put it on one big hard drive, because they might take off my channel one day. You know, it's like the verse says, gather up your treasures in heaven, not your treasures on earth, because you can't take that shit upstairs, okay? I could talk all day about truth and whatnot, but if no one hears or sees it, you know, does a tree make a sound when it falls in the forest and there's no one fucking there to hear it? I say no, it doesn't make a sound, because the whole point of reality is to have observers. Okay? If there's no aliens out there, that's an awful fucking waste of space. Okay? An alien? You believe in aliens and Christianity and astrology and this and that? Yeah, I believe in what's fucking real and what has not been disproven. So, you know, but anyway, that's just my, you know, my 2 cents. But I hope y'all can see past, you know, everyone else's presumptions, and you can make your own judgments after you have done some studying. Most people make a judgment after 5 fucking minutes of Googling. Okay, I've made judgments after fucking years of constantly finding out truth, instead of just coming home, turning on Family Guy and playing fucking Xbox all night. No, I'll come home and, you know, I'll chill out. But my main goal of all time is to find a truth, one new truth a day. Something, you know, just, oh, didn't know that. Oh, didn't know that. Like, you know, like Barbara Bush's fucking, you know, grandfather might be Aleister Crowley. Those kind of truths, that's really interesting to me. So, anyway, I really wanted, I just want to share, you know, my whole life. I want to share all my experiences, but I can't. Okay? I can't talk to someone who's read all of Finnegan's Wake yet in this shitty bunk-ass small town, because no one has. And when I do find some people who are interested in Finnegan's Wake, they're just a bunch of fucking nutballs, okay? I can't find anyone on my level, so of course there's the fucking internet. Oh, he thinks he's so fucking smart. Well, have you read all of Nietzsche's works twice? Do you read the Bible in Greek and Hebrew? Do you know about mathematical codes hidden throughout fucking everywhere? Can you play classical guitar and get into a really huge-ass school in North Denton, Texas? Which I didn't go to. I went to New Orleans instead. I mean, I have a whole bunch of fucking repertoire, but that doesn't mean it's on my fucking career resume. It's on my personal fucking spiritual life resume. Okay? And it has nothing to do with anything that involves any kind of fucking money. So once again, you know I'm the realist. Like, I will not tolerate any bullshit. I call out my mom's bullshit. I call out my wife's bullshit. I'll try and call out my boss's bullshit if it doesn't have to do with fucking religion or politics. Okay? Like, it's really a fucking moot point, y'all. We did what we could. And basically, I still believe the end times are coming soon. Like within a couple years soon. You know, I've said that forever. But it's just my belief, you know? And it's not that faith makes blessed. It's that a bunch of things confirming that specific faith makes valid and shit. So, anyway, I guess I'm not a Christian because I cuss either, so y'all can fuck off.